Hey guys, welcome to the Geek Dunk. I'm Josh.
I'm Billy.
And I'm Ashley.
And it's another week on Survivor, and this one is a doozy.
It is. Well, first of all, I mean, Jeff's kind of pissed off some of the contestants, I think, you know?
I think so.
Yeah, they're basically flat out calling him a liar, which I guess he kind of is. So.
Yeah.
It's almost turned into like the whole Big Brother expect the unexpected kind of thing. Like,
but without the danger that we're supposed to be seeing so far, we still haven't seen, you know?
this danger, I mean... Somebody did.
Billy wants to see a body count
for 2 days.
No, they didn't, because
they
had a cameraman with them the whole time. So at least one.
And they had a visitor.
Yeah, they had a visitor come visit them.
All right, whatever.
Well, this show starts off, and they kind of give a recap of all the advantages, because there's a slew of them, and I think people have lost track at this point. So they're like, let's break it down.
They probably lost track in the game as well.
They probably have, which is like, we need to do an advantage breakdown here. So they run through all that, who has what. So what do you guys think about the advantages this year?
Well, I mean, for me...
Started slurring my words a little bit, but it's fine.
That drink.
He's already done. He's already done. Well, for me, like, this is my first time seeing this. I don't know anything else, right? So you get a shit ton of advantages, and that's all I'm used to seeing. So I think it's kind of cool.
Yeah,
Billy's
cool.
He's good with it. He's good with it.
Oh, man, I'm good with it. well, especially with, like, what I'm good with it about is the fact that there's so many advantages out there that even the contestants don't know what to do about it, right? They're all like debating what the hell is going on. Like, man, what are we going to do here to stay alive? Because there's so many people out there with so much freaking advantages. So yeah, I mean, I think it's cool.
Yeah, well, I wish they would dial it back a little bit.
I can't imagine being a contestant because I'm confused as a watcher. Like, there's the advantages and there's a lot of like contingencies to the advantages. Yeah, this is what I do.
That's right.
I don't have my other arm like.
And there's advantages.
To get up there.
There's contingencies and there's advantages.
Exactly. Like, I'm one-handed today.
That's right.
So, anyway, it's hard to keep track of the contingencies on the advantages because, you can't use this unless this, if that.
Right.
And then you have so many other people to depend on in order for you to be able to use the advantage that you have.
Yeah, I mean, there's a couple that are pretty much cut and dry, like the extra vote, right? That's cut and dry.
We haven't seen anyone up to this point use one, have we?
No, because Xander's got the extra vote and he's got the idol, right? And I think one other, Deshaun has an extra vote as well, I think, right? So there's a couple people that have extra votes in this. And then
three people have idols.
I don't understand. I don't think there's anyone who has an advantage that hasn't told somebody that they've had
it's out there.
I think they're kind of out there.
Like, and when you tell one person, there's never been like, I've got this to myself, and maybe my ride or die. It's like once you tell one person, everybody freaking knows.
It's like freaking telephone, man.
Yeah.
Well, I think everyone's like trying to be good in with someone and throw them a bone, but maybe they're not in so good with them.
Oh, man. Dude, I'm telling you, ever since I got back from China, man, I've been just
China?
What?
Anyways, it cuts to Erica. She's on
drink at the same time there.
It cuts to Erica. She's on Exile Island, and she's kind of babbling about what's best for her.
Right.
The reality is, I have no idea what's ahead. So I have to just trust that whatever I do, it's going to be the best route for me.
So she smashes it to rewind, basically flip the game, and everyone who won lost, and whoever lost won, and blah, blah, blah.
Okay, this could make my game or break my game, but at least I'm playing for me.
There was no reason for her not to smash it at this point. She's clearly on the bottom of the group that sent her out, and nobody else knows her, so she's just basically on the bottom of anyone who's left. Right, so what does she have to lose?
And if she didn't smash it, she's just going to screw herself over being on the crappy team. So, yeah, there was no point. There was no, like, I don't know of anybody who just said, you know what, I'm not going to smash this. Like, it's a no-brainer, right? If you're on the island by yourself, it means you're already in the outs.
I hate the phrase no-brainer.
Yeah, it's a no-brainer.
Well, unless you're in good with the group that won.
Yeah, maybe.
Probably. But, yeah, she gets reunited with the group, and then Jeff's like, what was your decision? She's like, I smashed that thing.
Smashed the hell out of that.
Yeah, and then Jeff reveals, like, hey, all you people that won are now losers, and you're going to tribal council, and the other people are safe, but we didn't know this, I don't think, is everybody gets to vote.
Yeah.
Not just the winners, or the losers, excuse me.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Everybody votes.
So everyone's voting, but they're having the immunity challenge, so now the people coming in who thought they were safe, who weren't going to compete and do anything, are now having to compete, and the other people are like, we just get to sit here and watch, and that's great.
Yeah, they get to
and you can tell Danny right off the bat is not happy with this twist.
Oh, yeah.
Because Jeff said
he's
like, what did we get promised if we won that last thing? And it was like two things: you get food and immunity.
They got the food,
but they didn't get the immunity.
Yeah. So he's like, why'd you even promise immunity?
Yeah, you lied to us.
Yeah.
We drew rocks. We competed, and there was a winner, there was a loser, and the prize was what?
Feast and immunity.
Okay, I'm just asking.
Yeah, that's what he said. He's flat out. He's like, hey, they lied to us.
And then from what I've heard, because the person got kicked off, they had an interview. They said like, yeah, Danny was not cool with that, and they didn't like show some parts of that where he questioned Jeff, and Jeff's like, maybe we should rethink that. You know, yeah, you probably should.
Right.
I'm not wired that way to compete
now we got to rewire.
Yeah, you can't lie to the contestants.
Yeah, I don't like that.
He had immunity. There was just another thing at play that took it away. It's like somebody having the immunity idol, and then somebody having the power to be able to take that.
Well, no, but the difference is everybody else is always aware that somebody's got an opportunity to get something, right? If you like, hey, you pick so and so to go away, they're gonna go make a decision, right? They've always told them that there's gonna be a chance for something to happen.
And you know,
whereas this time they didn't tell them that at all. So.
It doesn't matter. You know that Erica's going to an island for 2 days by herself. She's gonna have some kind of advantage.
Yeah, we've never seen this before though.
Maybe, but there's been like nights at in solitary.
Yeah, but normally you get something to save yourself, not flip flop something like this.
He basically told you to expect the unexpected. I'm just saying. Stop.
Drop the 4,
Everybody
keep the 1.
But
drop the 4, keep the 1. That's it.
Right. Doesn't matter to me. I don't care. You know, I think it makes for an interesting game at this point. You know?
I thought it was an interesting thing to shake it up, but they probably should have worded it kind of cryptic instead of like saying, "Yeah, you're safe," and then them not being safe. It'll be interesting to see going forward if they do the same routine a second time or not.
Yeah.
Or if this was just a one and done.
Who knows? I guess it depends on the feedback.
Depends on how much more Jeff wants to lie to everybody. You know, I don't know.
Yeah. And then they get to the immunity challenge. And they're playing this like stack the blocks game. Billy, what'd you think of that? We've seen this before, but you're new to this.
It reminded me of like the Big Brother challenge that we saw with the stacking the little cups, right? When, like I said, with the little tweezers, the cup thing. Except with this,
you're doing it with your feet.
Yeah, but this you're doing a stacking blocks with your feet. Yeah, exactly. That was kind of cool. I was like, okay, that's kind of different.
I actually thought everyone did a pretty good job. Not only people struggle with this, but all these guys did pretty good.
Nobody really struggled.
Well, I'll tell you what sucks, man. Like, I mean, as you're watching that, you're like, dude, if you drop one of those down the center, that's gonna suck.
Yeah, I don't know what happens there. Like how they reset that. I forgot.
You gotta start over.
Yeah, because you're gonna have to like tear some of the side down and get it back out, man.
Yeah.
They might allow you to like pick it up with your hand and put it off to the side. Crap. I think they do allow some things with their hand.
Well, they did allow Danny to get up and like pick his blocks up off the floor and put them in the center.
They did say like once they drop from the thing, you're allowed.
So I think you could probably pick that up with your hand. So
I don't know.
But yeah, that was tight race, man. Like a lot of people were getting close there, and I was like, man.
Yeah, it came down to like Evie.
And Sydney's like toes when she got that flag, she was just like gripping the flag with her toes.
Yeah, people were like grabbing these things like they were their hands.
I was like, has she used her toes as her hands before?
I thought she was gold. I was like, oh, Sydney's got this, you know.
Yeah. Well, Evie, I think, was in the lead early on.
She was,
right, and then Sydney came back and got in the lead.
And then Ricard was in the mix as well. So
you didn't see Ricard for a while, and then all of a sudden they started showing Ricard, and you're like, oh, he's in the mix.
Well, I think Sydney got out in front, and she was struggling with the flag portion.
Yeah.
She was. That's where she struggled. Yeah, exactly. Because she was out in front of the other two of Ricard and
she grabbed
Evie.
the flag first.
Yeah.
But like getting the flag over the blocks and in the center.
Yeah, it's hard.
That's tough.
Yeah, Evie struggled on like the last block. I think she kept knocking a couple over, so that was like what did her in.
Yeah.
So I mean, good old Ricard, man, dude, pulled it off, came through. You know.
It is second by second, Ricard. I got it. Ricard has it! Ricard by seconds wins immunity!
Ricard takes it, so he is safe as far as we know.
Right, yeah, right, for now.
So,
well, he was safe from this vote, right? So,
yeah, and then the group talks, and they're trying to decide who are we putting up for this.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone.
This is where it gets interesting.
Yeah, and this
gets confusing.
Well, you have one large group that's like we got to get Evie out. So.
Right. But they've only been one large group for like a hot second.
Yeah,
so
what's funny is, and it's like, what the hell made them all of a sudden decide Evie?
I think it should be Evie.
That's a strong. Right. Xander, Evie, and Tip are really, really tight.
Right.
Evie was gaming. And then at the same time, she was the second, like she was kind of like close to, like the two names they kept throwing out were Evie and Sydney, and those were the two runner-ups in the competition.
Right.
So,
yeah, and obviously Evie's not part of the large group that's trying to throw a name out there.
Right.
So, and then I think they see Evie talking to Xander and Tiffany, so they think she's kind of like the glue that holds that team. She connects like too many people on the other side.
Yeah,
so
that makes sense. Yeah.
If they get rid of her, I guess then that will be fractured and there'll be little pockets, I think is what their reasoning is.
Yeah, and then so that's going down. All the choosing's being made. Old Xander, he comes up with a great idea. And I thought that was pretty dang cool the way they did that. Because they know Leona, what's her name, Liana? Liana. They know Liana has the steal. She can either steal an idol or an advantage. Everybody knows that, right? So, and it's already been made pretty aware that she's going to be coming after Xander. So, of course, at this point, Xander's like, crap, I got to do something.
She's going after Xander's idol, but they're all going after Evie for the vote.
Right, but after Xander's idol, exactly.
Right. Evie is going to be devastated, but I came out here to make my own decisions and hopefully win this game.
So Xander has the, pull a hat trick to freaking make sure his idol doesn't get taken away.
Yeah, this bothers me a little bit. This whole conversation that took place, so Xander pulls aside the football player, what's his name? Danny, and it's like, hey.
Here's the thing. Liana has a steal and advantage. She can take someone's idol. Oh, isn't that crazy? And she kept it from the Yasa.
And he didn't know that.
No,
right, he didn't.
She only told
and he's supposed to be, because don't forget, all the people of color have formed their own team,
group, yeah.
And he's part of that team, and she's part of that team, and yet he didn't know that. And I just brought that arm up, and that hurt. So anyway, so he's like, well, that's an interesting fact. Then Xander walks away, and he immediately tells.
Right.
Who did he tell?
Xander, he tells Danny his plan.
No, yeah, but then Danny tells somebody else.
Danny goes to her and be like, hey, Xander just told me that you got this freaking thing.
Well, he tells somebody else first, and then he goes to her and says, hey, Xander told me that you have this thing.
Xander's plan is out of it. And they also know that you have some type of steal advantage.
She's like, well, that's right. Okay. Yeah, which, by the way, is all Shan's fault, because Shan told Tiffany, and then Tiffany's telling everybody everything. So she wouldn't have told if it was her information to keep. If Shan hadn't known about it, she wouldn't have, that wouldn't be out there for everybody to know. But Shan had outed that. So.
And then Liana at the same time is still trying to play like she's still part of the yellow team, right? She's trying to play friendly with the yellow team, oh yeah, we're all cool.
But then she's talking to them, and he's like, "Don't worry,
I'm hearing my name.
Don't worry
I'm really
about
scared. You're gonna pray for her?
Yeah.
For sure.
100%.
Okay.
Why is Xander so stuck on her though?
Yeah, well, he's sticking with that team.
Yeah,
but
really
however, I don't know why Leona buys that. He is so adamant about hey, I've got the idol, but she knows that he just told somebody else that she's got this.
Yeah, but at the same time, she still thinks. At the same time,
she should have suspected he was playing that.
Nah, because at the same time, she still looks at Xander as hey, he still really is trying to stick with Yellow Team here and make this work, and keep Yellow Team around. Which he kind of was playing that role with her, right?
I don't know. I feel
Evie makes it seem
like
we know exactly what Liana's trying to do, because Liana comes and talks to Evie and Xander to see
she talked to him
because they're what if Xander gives Evie the idol beforehand? So she's like, I'm gonna go talk to Xander and make sure he still has it. Yep. And sure enough, he's he keeps pulling it out, and they make it almost painfully obvious
that he's going to play it for her. Not that he is going to give it to her, but that he is going to play it for her.
Right.
And she is so stuck on
that he has the idol.
She's so stuck on taking his stuff for some reason too.
Well, but then the thing is though, and then when all the black people get together and talk about it, they're like, well, hey,
I'm going to take it. I'm going to play my thing tonight, and then you're the most powerful 4 people in this game.
They kind of in their little circle, hey, well, what if he just gives it to Evie then, and you try to steal it for him, and he doesn't have it anymore because he gave it to Evie. Right. So then somebody tells the other group that, hey, they're worried about this, and they're like, okay, and then they were kind of already, I think Xander and them were kind of figuring they'd already be worried about that anyway, which is why they were trying to come up and hatch the plan that they came up with, right? So
tribal.
Everybody was getting
everyone's telling everyone everything, and almost everything is known at this point, as far as advantages, because this group knows, and this person told this person, and that person told this person, so it's kind of I don't know if there's any that are really a secret at this point.
No, I don't think so. Yeah, I think everything's known.
So then they get to tribal.
And this is a wild tribal council. I don't even know if I've ever seen it quite this crazy.
Yeah, they literally, at some point in the tribal, they all stand up and just go in separate corners and start talking
Jeff's doing his usual thing. He's questioning it. And then Xander, I was kind of surprised. He pulls out the idol from like his pants or whatever.
Yeah,
He's like,
I'm
going to use this thing.
Right
you know what I mean?
Well, because everybody was like, hey, we know, because everybody's like, yeah, we know Xander's got this idol. And he's like, yeah, I got it, and I'm going to use it today. Right? So kind of just trying to
and you kind of suspect, did he give it to Evie? He's going to keep it? We don't know. Right. But he pulls it out and is like, I'm going to protect Evie, so don't even use it.
Honestly, a burden at this point, so I'm happy to give it away.
Which I think is odd because I'm like, they can just target you at this point.
Right.
And for some reason, it doesn't seem like that's a part of anyone's calculus.
Right.
And that never happens even after what happens, which we'll get to that in a second. So, like, he's flaunting that he's got this idol. Woo-hoo, here it is.
Right. And then as soon as that happens, like, everybody gets up and goes to their groups and starts talking, which to me...
no, that doesn't happen until Leona says... Well,
that's right. That's right. Yes, you're right.
So I have the knowledge is power advantage. Here's how it works.
She reads her advantage that she can steal an idol, and she looks at Xander and says,
do you have an idol, Xander?
No, but you can have this fake.
Xander totally punks Liana, and I'm so happy.
Oh, dude, it was awesome.
Oh, I was so stressed that they weren't
awesome.
I thought Xander was gonna mess up. I'm like, what are you doing showing that?
Yeah.
But because they made it painfully obvious. You suspect this is gonna happen, but then he pulls it out, and you're like, oh, maybe he's an idiot.
Well, and then Evie and Xander are like, yeah, Liana, part of the yellow team, are you? We see where you're at now.
So now that totally alienates Liana from the yellow team. Like now the lines have been drawn.
Crossed. Oh yeah.
Right. So at this point in time, that everybody's like, so where's the idol? Does Evie have the idol? Like, what's going on? Like, so then, like, they're all like, and everybody just stands up and starts going to different
And Jeff
corners.
is just kind of chill. Like, this is like they're back on the beach, and Jeff's just like, oh, this is interesting. Yeah. And I'm kind of surprised he never reeled that in. He's just like, lets it go.
Let everybody go talk.
Tribal just went very live.
Yeah, because in my opinion, at that point, once that's been played, there should,
you don't think strategy should be talked?
No, it shouldn't, because that gave Xander an advantage right there. Once his trick was freaking revealed, that gave him an advantage, and it shouldn't be able to, and nobody should be able to start talking again and strategize again, because then that just basically makes what he just did worth nothing.
But that is a fake trick, though.
However, I do want to point out, in all the side conversations, they're like, okay, who do we vote for now? Like, so he's gonna, he doesn't have that, but maybe he probably gave it to Evie, so we shouldn't vote for Evie, so let's go for Sydney and blah, blah, blah. And, all this.
And then of course, the other guys are going like, let's go to Sean.
To vote for Xander.
Right.
He literally just told you he does not have an idol.
And he just, like, bamboozled that team, so I don't know why he's not on the radar.
Why would you not vote for Xander?
Well, because I guess the flip side of that is whoever he gave that idol to could then use it on him, right?
However, they didn't know what to do because, like, they would have at least heard. None of these people even once thought to mention that.
Yeah, no, that's true.
And I'll say a counter to that, like, Xander didn't play an idol because once you play an idol, the vote's already in.
Right.
Yeah.
So he kind of faked that, which is quasi kind of part of the game, right?
Yeah.
So I guess maybe that's why it's a little different.
It's not the first time someone's brought a fake idol to Tribal.
Yeah.
What's his name? Joe?
I mean, it's happened numerous times.
The cop.
Numerous
the cop
times.
guy. He did it.
But, yeah, it was very interesting, and I'm glad to see Liana didn't get what she wanted.
Oh, so am I, dude. Absolutely.
Because at this point, it almost makes these guys seem like the bad team, the villain.
Right.
And I am rooting for Xander, so I'm glad that they didn't put his name out there, but I am shocked that they did not go after Xander.
I'm surprised his name's not at least part of the conversation.
Yeah, no one even once considered that.
No. Well, then the funny thing is, too, like, after everything's said and done.
And Xander didn't consider it as a possibility either, by the way.
No,
no.
Like,
didn't seem like it.
Okay, so after that happens, everybody's talking. So then, of course, the color folk are all saying, hey, well, let's vote Sydney. The other team's saying, well, let's vote Deshaun. So basically, you got kind of almost like a 50-50 split here. So, this group's saying Deshaun, this group's saying Sydney.
Nasir is kind of talking to the yellow team. And they're like, hey, we need Nasir. And they're like, Nasir, you need to come over here. And he's like,
we need Nasir over here.
Nasir.
We
done. 1, 2.
Okay.
Yeah, he's like bouncing back and forth between teams.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised Nasir is like part of that huddle because like they've kind of crapped on him, even though they try and bring him in on some things. But
well, I don't know that he knows that.
I'm kind of surprised Nasir is not like, I don't know if I'm going to vote with you guys.
Yeah.
Right, exactly.
But I guess he's kind of fooled, and he's probably loyal to Blue Team to a certain extent. And Heather's over there as well.
Uh-huh.
And Erica's kind of over there too, which makes no sense.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, then, okay, so finally Jeff's like, all right, everybody ready to vote? And then, she gives them all the time they need to, to freaking haggle.
Shan says, we're good.
We're done. We're done. We're done.
We're done as in you want to vote.
No, sir. Not at all.
We're good.
Right.
Yeah, she dictates that. She's like, we're ready to go.
Yeah. We're good.
Yeah,
we're ready.
So I didn't like that. I thought Jeff should have cut that short, and said, no, we ain't doing this.
I think if you let him get in a group and be like, okay, nope, no more strategizing. The time for that was yesterday or whatever it was.
We're here to vote now. We ain't here to strategize anymore.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I wouldn't have fan of that
Jeff
at all.
plays it how Jeff wants to play it. So.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I didn't mind it. I thought it was interesting.
I thought it gives, but the problem I have with it gives the larger group the advantage. If now you can change your votes and stuff like that.
Exactly.
And that's not cool. I mean, you probably want to steer away from the larger group.
Let's talk about this vote. This vote was stressful to watch.
Yeah,
I can't
so Sydney feels like,
in the tribal.
And here's the interesting part: Sydney is normally a part of that group, but she's like. They're talking Evie, and then it starts to steer towards Sydney, and now she's getting freaked out.
Right, because she hears her name coming up over there.
Yeah.
But that's her group, so she's like, I will.
And the seer comes back, and he's like, hey, they're talking about Sydney. They want to throw Sydney up there.
And they're concerned that Evie has the idol, because clearly Xander doesn't, because he couldn't lie. So he clearly does not have the idol. So they're concerned that Evie has the idol. So they're like, well, let's split the votes between Evie and Sydney. And then that way, if Evie does play the idol, we can get rid of her. If not, we get rid of Sydney. It's a win-win for us.
Right. Because one of them
kind of wanting to get rid of Sydney anyway.
Right.
Why? I don't know.
So, and then, of course, the other team's saying, all right, well, let's all vote Deshaun.
So then they go to vote. And then it comes back, and Jeff asks, does anybody have an idol that they'd like to play? And then Tiffany starts to talk, and then Xander's like, no.
Yeah.
And then
Tiffany was gonna use it to save Evie, but Xander's like, no, don't do it. It's not gonna make a difference.
But this is when we find out that Tiffany has it, because we didn't know ahead of time that they were giving it to Tiffany.
Right, exactly.
So they gave it to Tiffany to play for either Xander or Evie, I guess, at this point.
Which is smart to give it to someone who's not kind of in the mix.
Which, again, I don't know why everyone else didn't think of that. But anywho, I digress.
Yeah, but then at that point, your thoughts are going to jack out well, crap, they didn't get Evie, maybe they gave it to this person.
Yeah, so Evie's nervous as hell, and she's like, play it. And Xander's like, don't play it.
You're good. He's like, you're good.
And Tiffany kind of looks at Xander like, I'll do what you tell me to, which is kind of odd for Tiffany.
I liked Tiffany in this moment, because she said,
I'm surprised by that.
She said, it's not my idol.
And they wouldn't have voted for Ev.
I could end up not be on the jury at all if they are tricking you.
Don't worry.
You have to tell me it's not mine.
Do I play it or don't I play it?
Yeah, I definitely appreciate
that. Tiffany stopped.
That gave Tiffany some Billy points for sure, because she wasn't being selfish.
Are you Team Tiffany?
Just no, I'm not Team Tiffany. but she wasn't selfish there. She acknowledged, hey, this is my idol. I didn't earn it. He did. So hey, what do you want me to do with it?
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, that's cool.
He said, don't play it. And Abby's sitting there like,
please play it. She's like, Abby's begging. She's like, play this thing,
I think Abby tinkled a little bit. She's like,
Tiff, don't play it.
No, play it.
So then Jeff starts to read the votes, and I don't remember which one he came out with first.
Well, before that,
Deshaun's name
Sydney's
came out
like, I'm not playing this game. I'm taking the shot in the dark.
Yep.
Oh, that's right.
First person to take a shot in the dark.
Yep.
So she opens it. It's kind of anticlimactic. I thought they would do some game or something to figure out, but apparently they just got like a message in the beginning. You either have it or you don't, and she opens it up. Not safe. So there goes that. But the deal is you lose a vote if you choose to do that, which is critical right here.
It is critical. Because now, based on the conversations that have happened, it's either Deshaun, Sydney, or Evie.
And it goes back and forth. It's like Deshaun, Evie,
so this is how we read
Deshaun, Evie,
Sydney. It's almost like, I want to say...
Oh, they know.
No,
I want to say Jeff puts them in that certain order when he goes back.
They put them in a certain order, for sure.
It's already known.
Yeah.
You're late to this.
Yeah, it's my first time on the show.
It's already known.
Like, there's no way it just happened to come out in that order, man. I was like,
They do it too, so it's like the obvious one. Like, this person's voting this way, so they'll read that one first so you can tell.
So, anywho... So now they have, it's down to, a tied vote.
Like three-way tie.
Yeah, between Evie, Sydney, and Deshaun. And, we at home, we have no clue. I don't know if they have a clue. I can imagine that they don't. And they read that last vote, and it's Sydney. And it's like...
And the thing is, had she actually voted Deshaun, it would have been a three-way tie.
And then
they'd have to do something else to get rid of somebody, right? So
they would have had to make fire.
She screwed herself.
Right? That's what they do at the time.
Well, sometimes they make fire. Sometimes they have a revote, and you can't vote for it. You can only vote for those three. And if it's a tie again, you can vote for anyone but those three.
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah,
so she ends up. Sydney's gone, and Evie, you can see her like.
Oh, yeah.
She dodged a bullet.
Well, the funny thing is too, like as the names are getting called, Xander just looks at Evie. He's like, "I'm sorry."
Xander's like, "I was wrong.
I'm sorry. Like I should have let you."
At first, he's like, "See, I got you." He's like, "Oh God."
So it turns out in the yellow team's favor. Well, there's no yellow team anymore.
Well, and Sydney's kind of an interesting one because she was kind of in that group, so she's kind of like a mutual person to get out for all these.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
So in the end, I guess it's kind of fine. And she's
a
sore loser too.
Yeah, she's
super
a little
sore
bitter
loser.
to go. She's also a little into herself.
Oh yeah,
I'm really into herself.
A little bit.
I never have to see either one of their stupid faces ever again. So I was like,
but I still have the time with me.
Right. It's like, dude,
she's
get over
like,
yourself.
I regret nothing I've said. She's like, maybe it's stupid, but I don't care.
I don't care.
It's childish,
I'm
whatever.
my favorite person.
Yeah. That definitely did not put her in a good light at all. And it was like, all right, well, now I'm glad you're gone, Sydney, because you're an idiot.
But this was a good episode, probably the best episode of the season so far.
Yeah. It'll be interesting now to see them go back.
And like who's on what side.
Exactly.
I'm kind of surprised the yellow team members didn't try and recruit like Nasir or Erica.
Well, I think they still have
the
I think they still have the opportunity to.
When they did kind of try to recruit Nasir, they brought him over there, a little huddle, and like, hey, dude, you're with us, trying to.
Well, they said, hey, Nasir, we need you over here. And he's like, oh, okay, what do you need?
I can go to my team.
Right.
But I think Nasir could possibly go to them.
Well, if they're doing shiesty stuff, then Nasir doesn't normally play like that. So
right, exactly.
He'd be like, I don't like this.
Yeah,
and
so
kind of like Xander.
Right, and Nasir's kind of like a kind of a tiebreaker in that point too, right? So he comes to their team, that gives them a little more.
I don't know why Erica's on that team either.
You have Heather and Erica that are in the middle there, so
that's true. Yeah,
you could. I mean,
they banished Erica to the island, and then she smashes the thing, essentially putting most of them on like the tribe that's getting voted out. So I thought it was weird.
I don't
that
think
she's
Erica really knows where she belongs.
Gizmo don't like it either.
No, he doesn't. He's like, what the hell are you guys talking?
I don't think Erica knows where she belongs, and I think she's just trying to be accepted.
Mm-hmm. But now in Erica, this actually worked out for Erica, right? Because prior to this, the whole blue team was trying to get rid of her, and now her name didn't even come up. So this kind of worked out for her.
What is Gizmo doing?
I don't know what's going on down there, but
down there like having a good old time. Hey, what's up, buddy? What's up? Oh, well, come on. I got you.
Little Gizmo trying to make an appearance. A rare appearance.
Rare appearance.
He's adorable.
Yeah, man. But so for Erica, it kind of worked out for her because her name's like off the table now, and nobody's even focusing on her, and so she just kind of like.
Now Chewie wants in on the action.
She's just like flying under the radar now.
These are our dogs, Chewie and Gizmo.
All right, so what do we think going forward here?
I'm still Team Xander, man. I still want Xander to win.
I am all in on
Xander
at this point. But he's not going to make it. But I'm all.
Yeah, but now with that being said, I still like Nasir and I still like Danny too, right? So I still like those two guys. But I'm still right now. I'm hoping Xander goes the distance and wins. But
so you want Danny, Nasir, and Xander at the end?
That'd be cool.
Final three.
That would be cool. That'd be a good. Yeah,
there's got to be all three strong players.
Yeah,
they're
all
at the
three
end
strong teams.
Yeah, so no, you gotta have a weak person at the end. There's
Liana,
always a weak person.
Liana and Shan have gone down a notch for me this week. Especially Liana. Like, you just played dumb, and I didn't like what you did.
I can't believe Liana didn't even think to suspect that they were playing her. Like.
Oh yeah, nah.
Oh,
she hook, line, and sinker. I mean, she fell right.
I think Tiffany actually came up above Liana for me now. So now you got Liana way down here at the bottom, and Tiffany, and then Ricard's like on the.
I'm gonna make him a shirt that
Ricard was rather quiet this week.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, he won the event. And that was.
He's like, I'm safe, so whatever.
He's getting a shirt that says Team Tiff.
Team Tiff, man.
That's it. It's done.
But yeah. Okay, so you're all Xander. Who are you, Josh? Who are you going for, man?
I'm still Xander or Nasir. I like Nasir too.
I'm still rooting for Xander. Evie went up a little bit because I like that she saw what Liana was doing pretty early on.
Yeah. So she's the one that called it out pretty quick for.
Yeah, she's like, I know what this girl's doing. She's coming to confirm that Xander still has the idol.
Mm-hmm.
So
exactly.
Yeah, and I like that she didn't sweat. I mean, she was sweating, but like I like how she handled that.
Yeah, she handled well. No doubt about it.
So. I'm glad she survived. Oh my God, now I'm slurring. These are strong drinks.
Yeah.
Sometimes there's no alcohol. Just so you know, we don't drink all the time. I feel like people should know that.
Raging alcoholics.
That's right.
No.
All right. So any last thoughts here?
You guys got any last thoughts?
I'm looking forward to see how it goes.
Right.
I'm looking. It is kind of like a different game now. I like that they're not in these 3 tribes anymore. So.
Yeah, dude, I'm really liking the show now, man. Like at first, I kind of wasn't that much into it, but now I'm definitely getting into it more. Especially as we're seeing like people who you kind of didn't like at first are kind of redeeming themselves a little bit, and then vice versa, right? People who you kind of liked are digging themselves holes, And so yeah, I think it's cool, man.
Sorry,
but
we have a dog situation here.
Yeah. They're trying to jump in here and be part of the tribe, man.
So sorry. So when you say people are like coming up in notch, you mean Tiffany?
Tiffany and Evie.
Team Tiff.
Evie, a little bit there, yeah. And Ricard, too, for that matter, right? So,
oh, that's right. You didn't like Ricard?
No, for the longest time, him and Tiffany were my bottom ones. Now Leanna's my bottom one.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I agree with that. I'm not liking her.
Yeah.
Shan's kind of annoying me too.
Oh yeah, Shan's definitely annoying.
I mean, I normally like her game, but I don't like what she was doing. Yeah, I don't like that.
And
I like Deshaun actually handled his situation pretty good this week too. So
yeah.
He was pretty classy. He's like, I like that move, Xander. That's cool.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So that was cool of him.
Yeah, Deshaun moved up a little.
One of the thing is he did that, I think, to get brownie points with him as well, right? So,
I mean,
they're still trying to get rid of him.
I don't either. I'm saying it was still cool of him. Yeah, exactly. So
look at this guy.
All right, everybody. Well, hey. That is another week down of Survivor. You should subscribe and join the tribe. That's what I'm saying.
There you go.
Join the tribe.
But seriously, though, hey, if you like sitting here with us and watching this, hit like and subscribe, and we'll check you guys next week.
See you guys.
Bye.
Yes.
Well, look, I put forth effort today.
Hey, I got a fun fact for everyone.
So do I. Bengals sucked. So did the Cowboys.
So did the Cowboys, yeah. I'm not having any fun yet.
That's a fact.
All right, ladies. Billy is single and ready to mingle.
Yeah.
So subscribe.
I don't know if he's ready.
I tell you what, he likes a lot of subscribers. He likes it when people subscribe.
I love the subscribers.
He might be single soon too.
That's a pretty good. Subscribe and be part of the tribe.
Yeah.
Say that at the end, Billy.
That's a pretty good.
Yeah.
That's a pretty good.
That's a pretty good,
huh?
I'm ready.
Hey,
I'm supposed to bring the life today.
Yeah, this
I'm
is a pretty good episode, so I hope you guys bring some energy.
Let's do it.
Nobody likes label. Like the
one. Are we ready?
Label.
We got enough alcohol in us?
Let me know if you know what that's from.
Yeah.
He doesn't.
All right. You like to
I know, but like
mini karate chop things as you're going along? Billy likes to do one of these. He likes to come around the microphone like he's hugging it.
Come from the backside over here.
He does this kind of thing.
Yeah.
Oh, he does. Is this the kind of movie you want to?
Yeah, that's right. You gonna check this out?
You think every side's your good side, so like whatever.
This is the dominant side.
Have a seat.
Yeah, you can't have him. He's mine. He's mine.
I don't know what to do with my arm.
I have it all finished.
You get your gimp arm. You know what to do with it.
I don't know what to do with it.
Gizmo says bye.
Oh.